Hey everyone, welcome to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevie TPFL. It's December. It's the 5th of December. It's 2016 and it's Monday, so we're back with another edition of the Morning Grind podcast. It is Monday, so it's the normal Monday guest. CJ Kaltenbach, how you doing, my friend?
Meh.
We don't even have to talk football outside of two things. We need to say congratulations to Dan Bach and Cal Spears for both shipping qualifiers.
Oh,
this
they
weekend.
held?
Yeah, both of them held.
I mean, congrats to them. I was just hoping to beat them, but
Well, congrats to them. Really cool to see a couple guys here from Roto Grinders lock up some seats, and then not congrats to us. We had a pretty good lead going into the late game against the listeners, and Peter Zeld 15 had the Jimmy Graham touchdown there at the end. But I can't lie, CJ, that Jimmy Graham touchdown broke my weekend even, and I couldn't be happier about having an even weekend this weekend.
yeah, I mean, I can't be like I'm on the other side. I broke even, and it was that Graham touchdown too. So like, I'm sitting in the bar, I'm rooting for it. No lies, like whatever. Man, like you had all the Drew Brees, like you were hoping to break even, and I'm sitting there just thinking like, if you followed me on Twitter. Last night, I got really cold feet on that whole game, and I went to sleep, and I couldn't sleep for an hour and a half. I'm laying in bed, and I'm just like, man, if you have any balls at all, you'll just fade the entire game. Just fade the entire thing. I went to sleep, think I could do it, and I was like, you know what? I just need to play two guys. Like, I'll play Theo, I'll play Snead, I'll be okay. That Golden Tate touchdown, man, like, that thing just broke my heart because – I didn't realize how much it screwed me at the time. It was just like everyone on FanDuel played him. It was just like, oh, come on, like an 80-yard touchdown bomb to like. Look, if I lost to Golden Tate being a consistent part of the offense, so be it. But an 80-yard bomb to Golden Tate, like, come on.
Yeah, he was super chalky over on FanDuel. I had him in cash over there, but we're not going to talk.
But you also know that you ran pure, right? Like you don't expect 80-yard bombs to Golden Tate.
No, did you see the play?
I saw the whole play. Trust me. The safety decided to just screw me by just not sitting in his damn spot like he's supposed to. It was just standard. It was honestly kind of just standard for me for the day. It was just like.
Before we get into basketball talk, every Monday we always review the lineup.
We tilt first, and then we review the lineup.
We review the lineup.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, do we not just spend the first 10 minutes of this pod just tilting every week? Like, sorry, listeners, if you're not on our side, like. I get it. It's annoying. Sorry. Just, I thought I was over it, but apparently not.
So we started our lineup with Drew Brees and Cash.
Yeah, not my idea for the record.
It wasn't. You're right.
And then I listened to us too.
Hold on. If you would have told me Drew Brees was going to trail at home against Detroit all game,
I was worried about the whole game. That's why I faded the fucking thing. Ugh. The Detroit D's been good. Like, just because they went to New Orleans doesn't mean they might not suddenly just run the same game plan they've ran for 5 straight weeks. Like, just having not slept all night last night just thinking about this,
At running back,
like, I would have lost money anyways, or I guess I would have won a little bit. But God, I would be feeling much better if I had just faded the entire game and then lost. I'd feel like, all right, like, whatever. But the fade was the right play. Tampa, San Diego went over late. So did KC, Atlanta. Like, if you faded that game, I think it was a really smart play.
Touche. Running back, we went Le'Veon Bell, Theo Reddick, David Johnson. It was the right play to get Bell and Johnson in your lineup. At the end of the day, they did exactly what you paid up for.
Yeah, like if you played me in cash, I'm sorry, I got the BS Shepard touchdown at the end to get me there over Theo. Kind of one of those tennis, you hit the nets and you drop over. You're just like, sorry.
Then we went Tyreek Hill, Malcolm Mitchell, Pierre Garçon. Our wide receivers did fine. Garçon got us 4x. I can't.
So did Mitchell. We couldn't get one touchdown between the two of them.
Mitchell went almost 5x, didn't he?
Mitchell was 8 for 82. He got 10 targets. Like, and they converted no third downs too. It was just like, I could not have been more right on the spot. I feel like I got like just screwed. I got the nut low, I feel like being correct on what his role in the offense was. I really think 16 was the nut low.
The tight end position, I was wrong. I will just say, like, I am sorry to everybody that read my rankings in expert chat, the podcast. Like, I was so wrong about Vance McDonald. Like, when the snow came this morning, I should have just pivoted off. Everybody said it wasn't going to be bad. If you watch that game, the snow was an impact.
Yeah, I pivoted to Jermaine Gresham, which was meh, but certainly better than that, I guess.
And then defense, we went down. We played Jacksonville, and if you take away the bullcrap penalty, they take away one of the touchdowns, and you're looking at a closer game. Who knows what would have happened? It was still the right play. It was a rookie quarterback on the road. Jacksonville defense did not do bad. They just couldn't get those turnovers in this game.
Yeah, like fucking the Jaguars ran bad. The Pats ran ridiculously terrible. I don't know if you watched that game.
I didn't get to watch a lot.
Oh. So like they get Kansas, like they get a BS field goal, and then I don't know, minute 50 left. It's like 4th and 15. They convert a 66-yard touchdown or pass to Brent, and they get a touchdown. It's like, come on. They still ended up with 12, but it should have been like 19. Like,
all right, let's.
That's like Jared Goff on the road. If Jared Goff's on the road next week, and let me be clear, I am playing the defense against them. 4 sacks, 2 picks. And that was literally the floor, too. The Patriots dropped like 2 more. Like, I will stop. I'm playing the defense against Jared Goff the rest of the season. I don't care what anyone tells me.
All right, let's talk some basketball. Everybody's here.
Yeah, I apologize for us ranting about football, and then I just apparently got us to spend another 10 minutes. All right. So it took us 20 minutes to get over it, but I promise the NBA advice will make up for it.
All right, let's crush some NBA. We have 11 games tonight. If you guys haven't checked out our sponsor, Rosters.com, make sure you guys head on over there. Check them out. Use promo code Grinders. That way you guys get incentives here at RotoGrinders for Rosters.com. And they run all kinds of special promos. So if you sign up through our promo link, that way when they do those promos, you guys can take advantage of that. We're going to start it off with Denver at Philadelphia, 209.5 total in this game. Denver favored by 4. Jokic is out for this game. Covington questionable. Bayless questionable. I have to pay attention to that Bayless news. If he's out, we could definitely look at some value for Sergio Rodriguez. And we have to like Embiid in this spot, right?
Is Malone the coach still?
Yes.
Okay, betting Denver. Let's talk about Philly.
As I said, Embiid in this spot, minutes have went up, and we've seen what he did last game when the minutes went up against Orlando. He's still not expensive on FanDuel. I haven't looked at DraftKings.
Oh, come on, FanDuel. Really?
6,400. That's play. Lock it in.
100%. Not getting cute. Just not getting cute. 100%. If Philly gets to 7,500, let me know. Then I'll start thinking about it. Seriously.
Do you think him sitting every other game, or do you think that messes with their algorithm?
Here's a hint. You have people. They work in the office. They know what Embiid is. Fix it!
Oh, man.
Right? Am I wrong or not?
No,
what's the point of damn employees if you're not going to fix Embiid's salary? Like, what are you doing?
This podcast is going to have so many Siege hot takes in it.
I was heated before I started on this podcast, and it's just kind of like I was just mad about I couldn't have gotten the fucking Seahawks right going off in that spot, and I get those touchdowns. Just you're right, a lot of hot takes coming. I guess I'm really pissed. And this is a good slate too for NBA, which is the worst part. It's come tomorrow, I'll wake up and I'll realize how good of a slate this is, and I'll have a lot of fun with it. But right now, I'm just in total tilt mode.
On the Philadelphia side, if Bayless is out, like I mentioned, I did not mind Sergio Rodriguez in the spot. We do like playing guards against Denver. We have to pay attention to this Robert Covington news.
Sarge, man. God, there's a guy on Saturday. Almost won all the money on Saturday, too. I sent you some screenshots. Had a really good night Saturday, but Lillard and Horford But Sarge, I think if you get news that Covington's out, I'm just rolling Sarge out. They were letting Isaiah Thomas just go to the rim on pick and rolls just to keep Sarge on the court. If they're going to do that, then you just got to play the guy.
Denver.
And that's also the point, too. There's not exactly a Denver guy other than Mudiay that can run that pick and roll the way Isaiah Thomas can, too. And Mudiay gets benched all the time randomly, too.
Wilson Chandler is the only guy from Denver tonight.
You tell me. I think I would play a Moutier Saric combo just watching that last game on Saturday because, like, if they're going to play Saric the minutes he needs to get to value, Moutier will also go off if, well, okay. I know Mike Malone's an idiot, so I have to caveat this by if Mike Malone's not a moron, he'll run pick and roll like Brad Stevens did and get Moutier layups every time down the floor if Saric is on the floor. Don't know if that'll happen because it's Mike Malone. It's a pivot. It's a hedge because Mike Malone's a moron, but I would play Saric and Moutier together.
Washington at Brooklyn, 219.5 total in this game. Washington favored by 5.5. The injury news that we're paying attention to here is Booker is questionable. Jeremy Lin already ruled out, and Mahinmi for Washington out in this game. Wall missed practice on Sunday, but expected to play here on Monday. You know, we look at this game, and Brooklyn's allowing the most fantasy points allowed per game this season. It's not that close. And we'll start with the Washington side. I kind of like this price for John Wall on DraftKings.
Why does Markieff Morris have to keep having the best matchups on the board? Like, can you just get a shitty matchup one time on the pod so I can just be like, yeah, fade Markieff Morris, and I don't get people yelling at me when he sucks?
Yeah, like, there's so many good matchups for Washington here. Like, even Gortat's in a good matchup against Lopez. Bradley Beal has a good matchup here.
It's just like I see Markieff Morris against Luis Scola, and I'm just thinking, like, money.
Yeah, that's the problem here. Like, if this game stays close, it has so much game stack potential.
But you also know where it's going, right? Like, it's going to go to Gortat, Brooke Lopez, Sean Kilpatrick, Wall, and Beal. And maybe Markieff.
But it could be Porter at 5% too.
Porter against Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Like, if I lose because of Otto Porter against Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, so be it, right?
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I can get behind that.
So, I mean, look, has Otto Porter screwed us almost more than DeMar DeRozan on this podcast? Sure, but
I really like this spot for Bradley Beal, John Wall, and Gortat.
Right, me too. And it's just like if I lose because of Porter, so be it.
If you're playing multiple lineups tonight, get yourself a game stack in this game. The Brooklyn side, you mentioned Brooke Lopez, one of the top 5 centers as far as usage goes. When he's on the floor, he's touching the basketball. Sean Kilpatrick in this matchup. We've seen the upside, right? We've seen the 50-point game. It's there. But realistically, it's probably more like 35, right?
I got Moss. It's Gortat. If he hits 3 threes, that's 9 before we start, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a situation where it's just like I can't get too picky on him because center is like outside. Okay, look. Am I playing anyone other than Embiid on FanDuel? Probably not. But let's just say Embiid, I don't know, twist an ankle and warm-ups or something. We have to pretend other centers exist. Brooke Lopez would be like the number 1 guy at that point.
Yeah, going 100% in basketball on a guy is a lot harder than going 100% on a guy in baseball.
Remind me that when next time I try to go 100% on Al Horford, will you?
Oof. Anybody else here from Brooklyn that you like in this game?
I mentioned Kilpatrick. Bogdanovic is an option if Porter decides to guard Kilpatrick for some reason, but yeah.
All right, moving out. Oklahoma City at Atlanta. 207 total in this game. Atlanta favored by 4.5. Millsap questionable. Steven Adams dealing with an ankle injury. He is questionable as well. Oklahoma City at Atlanta. CJ, what do we like in this game?
All right, I'm going to assume Adams is out. I saw the injury, one of the few things I saw tonight in NBA, and it's like there's no chance he's playing tomorrow. So I'm assuming Cantor starts, but
buddy.
But give me a but here. I think Lavernier plays the more minutes here, and I think he's the guy you want.
Man, if we can get 30 minutes at a Cantor, though, because that's what happened on.
What if we get 28 at Lavernier, though?
I think they're both in play, right? Like
I assume they go. If Millsap sits, they go Muscala and Howard, and Oklahoma City will gladly match, right?
You would think.
Lavernier is the minimum too. Like, oh boy, oh baby.
Cantor is 4,900 on FanDuel. He's power forward eligible. I really like the spot for him. I kind of want Lavernier to start. I really do. Like,
well, let's see. I'm just curious how many minutes he played tonight.
Cantor played 30.
I'm curious with the Lavernier minutes.
17.
Adams got injured when, like, first half?
Or 18 minutes. I don't know when the injury happened. Let's see. He
I
played.
think it was the first half, right?
Steven Adams played on Sunday. He played 9 minutes. So you
Yeah,
would think it was the first half.
Yeah, so, man, if I get any sort of news that I can get 28 to 30 minutes on Lavernier, it's just like,
we want Lavernier to start over Cantor, right? We want Cantor to have his second
good
use.
point. Like, okay, I just assumed that wouldn't happen, but like we get news Lavernier starts over Cantor. It's just shove all in, right?
We like both of them then at that point, right? Because like Cantor would probably still play 30 minutes, but he would get all the usage on the second unit and get the run down the stretch.
The problem is on DK, you can't do that because you have to play Embiid. But
yeah, Lavernier is
power forward on FanDuel, right?
Cantor is power forward. Lavernier is center. Makes it a little tougher decision.
Yeah, you really can't play him there too. I mean, I guess in that Mega Slam, which has like a 500K prize pool, I guess you could do it, right? But
we're burying the lead here. Russell,
what's the lead? Everyone knows Russell Westbrook's a play. We don't have to tell them that.
But oh god, against Schroeder,
we don't have to tell them that. I really hope we don't have to tell them that. Like the listeners already knew, like they had Westbrook in their lineup before they opened the pod.
Yeah, everybody knows that we love point guards against Atlanta. What are we doing here with Atlanta? They're favored in this game. You almost have to think
they're what?
They're favored by 4.5 in this game.
What?
I said the same thing when I seen the line. I can't lie to you.
Okay, one, Millsap's playing. Two,
you would have to think, right?
There's no how. What's the total?
207.
That could be Millsap out, I guess, but man, that feels low. You know what this feels like? That feels like the spot. Remember the night we were talking about Indiana at Portland, and I was just like, this total is about 20 points too low, and they Portland matched their team total in the third quarter. If Millsap is in, and that's the team total, I feel the same way.
Yeah, this game seems low. We're gonna get some serious movement in this line.
So I mean, if it moves down, it's because Millsap's out, right? It's just like, but this is the first spot Muscala's had that doesn't like completely suck. Like poor Muscala, like that guy is he played Phoenix, which plays small, and then he fucking played Toronto, which also, I'm sorry, my language, I guess, but Muscala also is kind of just. Against Toronto, like Siakam and Patterson isn't exactly big either, and this is like they can play Lavernier and Cantor together, and Muscala goes ham, right?
It would all depend on Millsap.
Well, I'm assuming he's out. Like if Millsap's in, you just play him, right? Although we need to evaluate that.
Correct. The Atlanta side, yeah. If Millsap plays here, he's definitely in a good spot. Center's weak. Can we look at Howard maybe in this game?
Embiid's still a center, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a wise ass. It's just
I know. You almost have to think of it that way, right? Like that's just how it comes down to.
Remember Al Horford against when all Boogie and Embiid? I'm like, Al Horford's the best player on the slate. You laughed at me.
I didn't think I laughed at you.
You said, how could you play Al Horford on the slate? Something like that? Because he's the highest scorer on the slate. That's how you play him? I didn't play him either, so I'm just giving you a hard time. But, I mean.
God, there were so many centers on Friday.
I know, but that was a perfect spot for Al Horford, too. And then I decided to chase the next night, which was also a good spot. Just didn't work out. But
any interest in Schroeder here?
Nah.
All right, let's move on.
I mean, I love playing point guards against Westbrook. But the problem, you know what the thing is? Like, we dismissed him in half a second. You know what the problem is? Like, everybody's going to be on him. Is he still underpriced everywhere?
He's $6K on FanDuel. That's
people are like in the 1,500 on a Friday. He was like 50% at 5,900. Like people were perfectly happy to.
So freaking lucky.
Oh, don't Stevie like.
I'm not gonna.
I ran bad in football, but NBA was worse on Friday, man.
Atlanta.
I was texting you all night. It's like the Harris and Schroeder people. You roster him on Friday. Just go to church or something. My God.
This is one of my favorite games of the night. We have Cleveland at Toronto. 217 total in this game. Toronto favored by 1.5. That line is kind of juicy. 217 in a Cleveland-Toronto game.
Stevie, you saw my team on Friday. What do I do every time Cleveland's in a pace-up game?
We stack them.
And that even includes DeMar DeRozan. Like, I hate DeMar DeRozan, but my rule is simple. Like, Cleveland's in a pace-up game, I'm going to stack them. And if you saw my team in the 1,500, I did exactly that. It was Wade, Rondo, Kyrie, LeBron, and Love. I should have played Gibson over Love, but oh well. Can't get it all right. But same situation in this spot.
You can't predict Gibson going 11 from 11 from the floor. Like,
yeah, but I probably could have predicted Gibson owning Love's ass because he's not a tough guy. Like that I could have predicted. Like,
yeah, but you're not predicting 11.
No,
from 11.
Now I'm predicting 40, but I should have predicted 30 from him. Like I really should have. Like that. Whatever. I'm not perfect, but that was definitely something I should have caught on, and I didn't. Oh well, it's gonna happen. Like, if you're perfect, then you're awesome. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, no one's gonna be perfect. So, but yeah, in this situation, it's just a situation where I'm just gonna be heavy in this spot. Cleveland, Toronto. I'll stack it a bunch of ways. I'll play it with DeRozan and Lowry. I'll play it with some Valanciunas. I'll play it with some Tristan Thompson. Like, this is the game for me.
Yeah, it's a great game. One of my favorite games on the night. We're not DeRozan people, but we get a 217 and probably one of the most competitive NBA games of the month. And and it's in Toronto, which makes it even better.
I hate DeRozan, but this is the spot we hop on. He won't kill us in this spot, and then we just stay on the next game.
Now, I will say I'll probably be underweight on the field than DeRozan. Just saying.
I won't be because I'll be game stacking this like probably a ton. So I don't know if I could be still underweight, but it's not my intention to be. How about that? For the first time this year.
Yeah, for sure. San Antonio at Milwaukee, 206.5 total here. San Antonio favored by 5.5. Anybody from San Antonio that you like here?
I mean, this total is too low, so San Antonio's going to set someone. We'll just have to figure out who it is.
206.5 is not terribly low.
I'm at the 5.5. Like, it's too low. So they're going to sit someone.
Yeah, they've been off for 3 days, though.
Yeah, tell it to Tony Parker. They were off for 2 days, and they randomly sat his ass, too.
He's dealing with a knee injury. He is questionable here.
He'll sit. It'll be Patty Mills, and he won't start, but it'll be like Nicholas, whoever that guy is, he'll start.
Is the alphabet, like, super contrarian here?
I don't hate the alphabet. I was just thinking that I was like, I fade this game, and then I was sitting there as you were talking. I was like, yeah, alphabet's probably in play. Depends what does he have the Spurs discount?
He doesn't on FanDuel.
What's he like 10-2?
He's 10-1.
Yeah, you can't play him there. What's he on DraftKings? He's at like 9-4. You can play him at that price.
We'll say though.
I haven't looked at these prices, by the way, so I don't know what he is. I'm just curious. Let's see. He is
9.5. Not really getting a discount there, buddy.
9.4. Oh, I just said I'd play him at 9.4. I think I'll play him at 9.5 too.
Well, John Wall's 89. Kyle Lowry's 82. Irving's 73. You can really play him over those guys?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I can too. I love the alphabet, man.
I can, but it's just because of the triple-double upside. It's just like he's literally like he's actually like a 4-category player. Trivia, like how many games in his last 5 has he had last 6 less than 2 blocks?
Last 4 he's had at least 2, and then he had a 0, and then he had a 3.
Cheater. How about steals? If you're gonna cheat, help me out here.
I have it open. Of course, I'm gonna cheat. It's right there in front of me. But yeah,
how many does he have less than steals in his last 6? Less than 5 or less than 2?
2, 4, 5, 1, 1, 5, 2, 0, 1, 4.
It's a lot of steals and blocks.
I just don't
under 10K. If he gets 6 blocks and steals, that's 12 before he starts.
Yeah. Do you think they put Kawhi on him here?
Yes, but I don't know if that's going to matter. He's too small, isn't he?
Kawhi, yeah. They could put Kawhi on Jabari Parker.
I would love to see that. And they put that's not going to happen. Like, I'd love to see it, but there's no way, right?
Danny Green on Giannis?
There's a missing guard.
Well, we don't know who's going to start.
There's no, like, I would love that, but there's no chance. Like, you're going to get Giannis against Kawhi here, but I got to be honest, this is one of those few spots I just don't care because it's just so many categories he can get you there at 9,500. If he was over 10K, it's one thing, but it's like, I don't think he's like, he can get 50 here easily. Like 25 real points, 10 rebounds. That's 35 before I start.
Yeah. Am I crazy for thinking Dellavedova's a play here? If we get Kawhi on,
the outfit. If Tony Parker's out, I'm in. But yeah. I'm not gonna play. No.
I don't know, man. Like he's such a value.
If I'm playing Dellavedova, it's part of a game stack, right? I'm not gonna play him as a one-off.
He's 4K on both sites. There's good chance that he gets you the 20, which is 5x.
Dellavedova and Booker too. Like I get the bus game, and then they play 2 days later on the day slate, and they go off. Like, thanks a lot, guys. That was really tilted because I played that night slate really heavily. And I'm like looking at the box scores. I'm like, oh, this is what I thought you would have done the other game.
Don't you hate that? Gotta love it, buddy. Gotta love it.
The back-to-back with a day off is the worst. Like the back-to-back, like you don't pay attention to it the next day. It's like when you get the extra day and then you're watching the games, you're just like, come on, bro. No, I don't. I think it's still Dellavedova's perfect game stack. I can't talk. Like, if he's getting the shot attempts and the peripherals that you need for him to like really win you a tournament, you're gonna need something else from that game.
Memphis at New Orleans, 201.5 total in this game. New Orleans favored by 6. Injury news from Memphis is Conley's out, Vince Carter's questionable, Ennis is questionable, Zebo is questionable. A lot of questionables here that we just don't have news over the weekend on these guys, so we'll have to pay attention to how it plays out. Memphis here. Our boy's a little expensive over on DraftKings.
Mo Daniels. Mo money. We got to talk about Mo money. Sorry, buddy. I don't care where you want to start. We got to talk about Mo money.
We'll talk about Mo money.
Mo money, you got to start there.
We'll talk about him. Let's go. He's cheap enough.
There's no way he's getting like 46 again, but like 23 shot attempts. God. Thanks a lot, Kemba, for costing me a Q because you let Troy Daniels take all the shots. But, like, regression in the mean, but the problem is regression is probably like, what, 24 or 25 DK points, which is still 6x?
He should still get the minutes, too, right? We're talking, just in case people don't know, we're talking about Troy Daniels. He's 42 on FanDuel, and
the problem is Etwan Moore started over Frazier last game, which just like really improves his matchup, assuming it sticks the same, which I assume it would. Oh,
this three-headed guard question mark is fun, but it's
the problem is everyone's chasing Daniels. So like my head is just like fade, but the spot isn't just so beautiful. Like if I fade Troy Daniels, I guess I'm just going all in on Batum and just hoping for the best. Oh, it's not the same game. Shit. Troy Daniels used to be on Charlotte, which is what's in my head right now. So, like, I just go all in on – God, I don't know who the hell I go all in on.
Is Andrew Harrison too expensive on DraftKings today at 5,100?
Probably. There's no ceiling there, right? Like, he's not going to put up a 40-burger.
Yeah, Baldwin's still 3,500. Both of those guys cheap on FanDuel.
I know Big T's going to yell at me tomorrow and be like, hey, play Baldwin. I'm just like, that has a Big T. I love Big T. That's a Big T play. Like, written all over it. He loves Baldwin. I get it. It's just, I like Baldwin too, but man, those minutes.
You going back to the well here on Troy Williams if Vince Carter and Ennis are both out?
Troy Williams is the worst. He's just the worst. Like, but the problem is, like, this is the best spot he's had.
And he's going to get 35 minutes at under 4K.
Against Solomon Hill. And it's like, okay, so we look at where the usage on Charlotte has been, right? It's been at the point guard with Harrison. It's been with Troy Daniels. Those are kind of slightly tougher matchups. Maybe not so for Troy Daniels, right? Jermichael Green has the worst matchup he's had for sure. Gasol is a tough matchup against Ashik. Troy Williams seems like to be like the guy that will benefit, right?
The three that we mentioned, I think all 3 or 4 of these like cheap guard / small forward, there's some value here. Where we have a slate where we have 5 studs, 6 studs. There's so many studs on the slate. We got to have value somewhere.
I just feel like this is the spot where, like, I don't know, like, okay, if this, I'm using NFL metaphor here, but like the funnel defense flows to Troy Williams in this spot. So it's kind of like interesting because everyone's like, all right, I played him 2 games in a row. He did nothing. This might be the spot where he gets 30.
Looking at the New Orleans side, any interest in Anthony Davis in this spot?
Depends how hurt he is.
I don't know if I'm going to do it here. Like, this is the spot that I just don't see the ceiling that we're going to pay up for. Like,
I don't either, and it was a situation. What did he do? He did. We said this earlier this season. He went bonker. Oh no, that's the game he got hurt. That's right. We faded him against Memphis earlier this year. That was our one successful fade of Anthony Davis. Yeah, he twisted his ankle, so be careful here. He might just like be questionable and then sit. Like if he's questionable throughout the day and then plays, and you get him at lower ownership, okay. But other than that, pass. If you get a questionable, then out. Terrence Jones, of course. He's the new Ryan Anderson in this team. Like, if Anthony Davis is out, you play Terrence Jones.
Yeah, and if we don't have news before lock, get yourself a little Terrence Jones in there anyway.
God, Terrence Jones. Like, can Gentry just trust him, please? Just trust him. Like, just sit Oscar on the bench where he belongs. Play freaking Davis at the 5, and just play Terrence Jones at the 4. Please.
Yeah. So Tim Frazier, no more. Drew Holiday played a ton of minutes.
Oh, I'm not ruling out Tim Frazier yet.
Why? I think he's played like 10 minutes and 20 minutes over the last couple games. 16 minutes.
Oh, he was 4,900 somewhere today.
FanDuel.
Is he still 4,900 tomorrow?
Yeah.
What did he play tonight? I haven't listened
16 minutes. Had 10 fantasy points. 10, 20, 13.
Wait, he played 16 minutes tonight? All right, I got to pull that box score. Hold on.
Yeah,
I gave a lot of advice assuming he played way more than 16 minutes. So I need
Drew Holiday played 36 minutes in that game.
Yeah, but that's not a limit. But all those minutes are not accounted for, right? So I got to figure out where the minutes went. And since I want to give you guys good advice, I have to look. It's Sunday. Normally I would know this, but of course.
Well, Buddy Hield got a lot of run in the game. I remember.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Like the minutes went somewhere, so we got to figure out where they went, right?
Well, Buddy Hield had been playing like 2 or 3 minutes a game. Yeah, look at this. So 15 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 16 minutes, 12 minutes. So he got a lot of extra run here.
That's not where the minutes went. Hold on. I got to figure out where them. Like it's the Thunders. They play kind of small.
Solomon Hill played 33 minutes.
Oh, Alvin Gentry. Are you kidding me?
So I said, on a slate like this, I just don't know if I can go to Frazier.
It really is Terrence Jones.
It is.
Like, I look at the box score, and that's kind of like the first. Like Oscar played 16 minutes. They did kind of what I was saying. They played a lot of Terrence Jones at the 4 and Davis at the 5. But Davis played 43 minutes. That's really interesting because if he gets above 40 minutes, even in this spot, you got to kind of consider it.
Boston at Houston, 217 total in this game. Houston
we
favored.
buried the lead, boys and girls. Sorry, go ahead.
Houston favored by 4.5 here. The injury news that we need to pay attention to is Trevor Ariza. He is questionable with a back injury. I watched him get hurt the other night, and he did not look good when that happened.
Sam Decker? All right, good. Sold.
Old Sammy Decker.
Oh, my God. These Wisconsin guys. Like, I got Frank Kaminsky, man. Like, shout out to Frank Kaminsky, my friend. Like, I played him Saturday. I posted a picture right after lock of Frank the Tank, or just like a tank crushing a car. People laughed at me. He did not disappoint, my friend. Frank the Tank was not my problem. Sam Decker, also from Wisconsin. If Ariza's out, he's a lock.
James Harden, don't have to go there too much. Obviously, in play here. Clint Capella is cheap enough that I think you could take a shot on him in this spot. More of a tournament play. Anybody else here from Houston?
James Harden.
I already said James Harden.
Sorry, my sound was a little icky, but I don't think you give James Harden enough love. Like Avery Bradley is wonderful against about 99% of point guards and shooting guards in the league. James Harden, the exception to the rule.
All right, looking at the Boston side here, any interest in the Celtics? I'm sure you do.
Jay Crowder. This is the Jay Crowder spot. And the Al Horford spot, but like really the Jay Crowder spot, right? So Beverly will be on Thomas. You'll have Harden against Bradley, which is kind of interesting, but probably not as ideal. But you'll get Ariza or Decker playing extended minutes against Crowder, and Crowder's still the guy. I have not played him at this elevated price on DraftKings at 58. This is the first situation where I might do that. And then, of course, Horford and everybody hates his guts, including me. Will not go back to the well, but Capella can't go out there and guard him. And this is kind of he puts up 45 points to screw everybody who does not go back to him spot.
Really like Avery Bradley in this spot, too.
Oh, I can't pull that trigger.
Beverly on Thomas.
Here's the problem with
James Harden.
Here's the problem with Bradley.
Bradley.
Can we talk about the Bradley problem for a minute? The problem is Harden takes so many shots, and I love Bradley for rebounds, but when the shooting guard is so active, he can't get those rebounds. If he's not going to get the rebounds, he's just not going to get you there.
Yeah, I don't mind Bradley here. He's going to...
You look at the active shooting guards he's faced. So, let me just look at the rebound totals. Like, Philadelphia, no shooting guard. Sacramento, of course, no shooting guard. Detroit with KCP, 6. Miami with Tyler Johnson, 6. Sacramento with no one, 8. Brooklyn with no one, 7. Minnesota with Zach LaVine, 3. Detroit with KCP, 4. So it comes down to really how active is that shooting guard for his rebound total. So I'm really kind of concerned with that.
Anybody else here before we move on?
Don't mind Rhino. If the Celtics try to at least play Amir Johnson for 5 minutes, he could put up 20 in the first 2 minutes. That's not even a joke, by the way. When they try to play Amir Johnson for 3 minutes on the floor, he literally could have 20.
Yeah, Ryan Anderson shooting the ball really well right now. Like that call. Moving on, Portland at Chicago, 216.5 total in this game. Chicago favored by 5.5. Aminu is probable to return here in this game tonight. Be interesting to see what Portland runs out as far as starting lineups. Anybody that you like here from Portland?
Mo Harkless.
Even if he doesn't start?
I think he starts. He started before the news. Why would he not start now?
Just making sure you still like him here.
I mean, I pat myself on the back a lot, but I am the president, captain, of the Mo Harkless fan club. And, the ultimate compliment here would be for Mo Harkless to suck because Jimmy Butler is covering him. That would be the ultimate compliment. No chance it happens. They'll probably put Butler on McCollum, which is why I like him. But theoretically, if you play Mo Harkless and you see Jimmy Butler on him, that's the ultimate compliment. Won't happen, so that's why I like Harkless. But if it does, and your team's going down with a flaming, if Jimmy Butler's on him, it's gonna be bad. But if that happens, just know that's the respect he's getting league wide.
Guy like Lillard in this spot too, right?
Against Rondo defense. Let me think about that. Yeah. Guy who one of the two guys let me down on Saturday, but he'll rebound in this spot, and I'm going to make sure to own him because I don't want to have him burn me.
Anybody else here from Portland?
McCollum's interesting in case, again, I was wrong. If Harkless is covered by Butler, I do want McCollum shares.
And I don't mind Mason Plumlee as a lone center here, but just goes back to, hey, Embiid's on the slate.
The guy who I might play is Robin Lopez.
Okay.
Plumlee not exactly the most athletic center, so he can kind of get his double-double going. If he gets his double-double going for 5,200, plays 30 minutes, I got some interest.
Taj Gibson here, any interest there?
Not if Aminu's back. That would be a guy who would have played if Aminu's not back, but Aminu and Harkless kind of combined could kind of negate his impact there.
Jimmy
Mirotic in the everybody got burned spot is kind of interesting.
I'm done with that guy.
Yeah, you got burned apparently.
Oh, no, I actually didn't play him the other night, so I kind of lucked out there.
I just think this is the ultimate Mirotic, just screws everyone, plays 30 minutes, and goes for 40 DK points, and there's a lot of cursing going on Twitter.
Jimmy Butler is fine. You're paying up for him. I don't love Dwayne Wade in the spot, but Rondo, man. Rajon Rondo. I know he did it against Dallas the other night, but this is the ultimate, hey, let's get back on track game.
Yep. What's his price on FanDuel? Is he gonna be mega shocking?
6,200.
At least he's not. At least he's not under 5K. That actually might lower his ownership to the point where people are scared off. Not for good reason, but they might be scared off.
Charlotte at Dallas. Looking at this game, it's 190.5. Charlotte favored by 4.5. We know that Marvin Williams is out.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
Seth Curry is questionable. Dirk Nowitzki has already been ruled out. He's out indefinitely right now. Outside of Frank the Tank, I just don't like this game. I'll be
6
honest.
of 27 shooting for Frank the Tank in the 3 prior games of that Minnesota game, and then everybody just jumped for sure. Like you played him through all the rough games. You didn't play him in the game where he might get some regression against Gorgie Jane. Oh my God! And he had foul trouble in that game in the first quarter too. It actually could have been way more. I like Frank the Tank here. If we get news that Bogut will play and Dwight Powell's playing the 4, but if I get news, this is one of the situations. If I get news that, like, for some reason Bogut's out and Powell's playing the 4 and that's Barnes at the 4, I am literally pivoting off 100% of Kaminsky shares, and I have to have a pivot ready to go because you'll get a single-digit game in that scenario because Barnes will just own his ass.
And Harrison Barnes probably the only guy that I like from Dallas here. What is actually before I say that?
No, we're not playing Wes Matthews.
No. I'm talking Darren Williams. Is he still like 4K on DraftKings?
No, I think they upped his price finally. He's 51. Yeah, I was on him those days. He was 4K. I think I texted you too. I was like, why am I not playing Darren Williams at 4K?
Yeah, it was just the last.
It was a weird
nights.
price just because of the minutes. I was just like, hey, why are we not playing Darren Williams for 4K? I think it was over like Andrew Harrison, and it didn't kind of work out, but
I don't even hate him at 5,100. Finally up to where you actually have to think about it, but
if you're playing him at 5,100, you have to find someone on Charlotte to play with him.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully
that's kind of like you're playing
Frank
Flake the Tanker or Batum or probably not Batum. I guess maybe Michael could go crit.
I'll be honest.
I guess it's a kind of a funnel spot for freaking Kaminsky and Kemba.
I'll be honest, CJ. This game, probably not a game that I'm going to target that much on an 11-game slate.
Oh,
and this next game too.
The Frank the Tank and Kemba stack is getting put on the notes column. I'll say that. I don't know if it's going to work out if I'm going to get there by the end of the day, but I'm certainly going to note the Kemba and Frank the Tank because it did me good on Saturday. So.
All right, next game up, Utah at LA, 197 total in this game. Utah favored by 3.5. There is a ton of injury news here. George Hill already rolled out, so we know going into Monday that he is out. Larry Nance is questionable. Jose Calderon has been ruled out for the Lakers, and we know D'Angelo Russell out right now. Low total, down pace game for the Lakers. What are we doing here?
So who's starting at the point guard spot? The Lakers?
For the Lake, I would think it'd be Clarkson, right?
So I always like to take
Nick Young too, by the way, out.
I like to take the home team in terms of the pace. So this is kind of an interesting game for me where I think people might be a little too scared of the pace because these guys aren't exactly like overpriced. Like Randall at 6K isn't exactly an insane price here. Tough matchups against Memphis and Toronto the last couple games. They got blown out at Toronto. He played okay, actually, in that game. Memphis, kind of a touch matchup against bigger guys. Utah with Diaw and Lyles doesn't really have that kind of threat. So he's kind of interesting. Lou Williams, overpriced on DraftKings, underpriced on FanDuel. Don't mind him. Clarkson is fine. Brandon Ingram is probably the guy I like the most. 4,500 on DK. I think he is 43 on FanDuel.
41.
Oh, yeah. I love Ingram at 41 on FanDuel for sure.
Minutes for Ingram the last 3 games. 39, 35, 41.
And some of those were blowouts, too. Like, they're just going to, like, let him run. Because he was playing the backup point guard before Russell got hurt. And then now with Calderon out, it's like they're really like pressing the point guard. So Ingram might play like 20 minutes at point guard by itself, which is just ideal if you're rostering him.
You writing off the Lou Dang 36-minute, 32 fantasy point day?
Do I write it off? No, because Calderon's hurt and they have to play someone minutes, but I'm not going to necessarily chase it.
If it was anybody but Utah. God. Like, give me a different game where they're playing somebody like up-pace type game.
Give me New Orleans.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the Utah side, any interest here for any of these guys?
Hayward.
Yes. What about Shelvin Mack?
Like, that guy played terrible for 3 quarters and he still got the value.
Any interest?
Honestly, I was sweating every minute of it. Like, he played terrible for 3 quarters, no peripherals, and still got there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Any interest in Shelvin Mack here at 3,600 on FanDuel?
I don't think I've ever watched Shelvin Mack. I'm not starting now.
At 3,600 though.
So what?
So
like, you have Embiid for 1,000. You're getting Embiid off at 1,500 savings. Figure it out from there.
Oh,
am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're not.
I know I'm not wrong. Like, what do you think Embiid's gonna be on tomorrow? 60%.
It's gonna be high.
He was 49% in the 1,500 on Friday. Like, you think he's gonna he didn't play on Saturday, so like, I think 60% in the 25 feels right, and it also feels low.
It does feel low. Indiana, Golden State, last game of the night, 226 total in this game. Golden State favored by 15.5. Paul George, CJ Miles, and Serafine, they all returned on Sunday. Paul George played 34 minutes in that game. CJ Miles played 15 minutes in that game. It's a back-to-back, little questionable, right? This line makes it feel a little questionable. 15.5 for Golden State.
Actually, that kind of makes me think. You have 15.5. I didn't even have a line on the board. 15. If it's 15.5, and I don't have that line on the board, so I mean, I trust you and all, but I don't have it on my.
Yeah, the site that I used for lines didn't have it either. But Notorious with the first look up early is where I actually.
Oh, hey, Notorious back from vacation. Welcome back. Our life's much easier with Notorious back. Assuming Notorious is right, I'm assuming that line is Paul George is in.
Implied total for Golden State, by the way, 120.8.
I think it's time to start considering where we just play the Golden State guys. If Steve Kerr is really going to keep this rotation, right? And I had these guys on Saturday, so I was finally paying attention for the first time, and probably was honestly like too long to pay attention to this. Like, if he really is going to play Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson to the 6-minute mark in the fourth quarter on that back end rotation consistently, like, these guys are all in play. If he's going to do that consistently with Durant and Klay, and he's done it, because it screwed me the one night that I was doing the pod with you. I remember we were talking about it. If he's going to do this consistently, like, 10-2 might be too cheap.
Yeah. And, man, this is a good spot for Draymond Green. It really is. Love this spot for Draymond Green.
Talk to me about Miles Turner, because I kind of want to get in on it, but the price on DraftKings is just really ambitious, I think.
Well, first, on FanDuel, he's a center, and he's more than Embiid. So
no, okay, that's why I said DraftKings.
I'm just saying.
No, I know you're just trying to make it clear for the listeners. I think if my point is, if someone is center eligible and his name is not Joel Embiid on FanDuel, like, you're not playing him. Simple. Like, Boogie could be $7K on the slate tomorrow. I might not play him.
I don't know if I can. I really don't know if I can go to Miles Turner here.
If he was 65 on DraftKings, would you play him? Because I think I would. I think I feel like the bias of the 7,000 as opposed to the 6,800 is what's like going to get me in my head, and it's not like a valid reason not to play him.
I will. This is what I'll say. If I was thinking about Miles Turner, I would probably find the extra $700 and play Paul George from this game.
Paul George is 77?
That seems a little cheap. I know it's a back-to-back. I know he's just returning.
Wow, that is too cheap.
But he played 34 minutes, I said?
Yeah.
I already forgot what I said.
74. I'm just curious. I'm going to run an early version of my model, which does not have ownership projections or Vegas totals.
He played 34 minutes.
I'm really curious what Paul George comes out to, because let's see. And this is not I do a lot of stuff to my model, so this is like really raw. Like I'm just gonna throw the raw data in.
Just seems cheap, right?
Yeah, it seems very cheap.
With the highest total on the board,
I'm really
pace
curious.
up game for Indy.
I think my model is gonna love him too when I pull it together here in a second. If it lets me scroll, because I think that's like too cheap for him. Let's see.
And don't play him on FanDuel. Like this is a DraftKings play. On FanDuel, he's 8,300. Then that's too expensive.
All right, Denver, Philly. We're looking for.
While you're doing that, what's your thoughts here on Jeff Teague? While you pull that up,
I love Teague. He's a really, really good play. Actually, interestingly, RotoGrinders does not have him playing, so I have to manually input his salary. But from the projection, it looks like he will be a top end play for me.
Yeah, Paul George. I'm guessing was that what you meant?
Yeah, what'd I say?
No, I was talking about Teague, so I just want to make sure we switch back.
Yeah, we went about Paul George. Yeah, I use a lot of the RotoGrinders data now. I kind of just finished integrating my model with it, and yeah, it does not have him playing minutes yet, but he will obviously, of course. So yeah, I think the price on DraftKings is interesting. I don't roster small forwards on DraftKings a lot this year. I've done a really good job of avoiding that. I think it's been one of my best parts of my success this year. But this price on Paul George feels about where the elite power or small forward should be. So I might hop on here.
The problem, though, like I will say, Gordon Hayward's only $200 more. It's just
that pace. If you say that though, that's a spot where like you think that Gordon Hayward pace is going to be up, right? You're going to play him with a Laker in that situation.
Well, yeah, I love Lou Williams. We talked about it already. I love Lou Williams.
Yeah, no, I do too. I'm just saying, like, I just want to make clear, like, if you have that conversation in your head, like, oh, Gordon Hayward's only 200 more, then you need to be having Lakers in your lineup.
Yeah, well, me and you have talked about it on the podcast multiple times this season. And I know this is against a lot of stats, but like we favor home pace, and we talk about it all the time.
It's not against a lot of home stats though. It's just the I don't know if it's against at home. It's just a lot. It's a misconception. I feel like it's just like the better team is always going to control the pace, and that's obviously not true. It's not true in NFL. It's not true in baseball. It's not true in a lot of sports. So it's just not. It doesn't mean they will always control the pace. It's just a fair default, I feel.
All right. Any other final thoughts on the Indy Golden State game before we move on?
Yeah, in the world that Paul George sits, Greg Robinson III, interesting play.
Sure. If we can news that they don't want to play him on a back-to-back from returning, sure.
You think he's going to play the back-to-back? Because
I do think he plays. I will say that.
God, it feels so weird to play him on a back-to-back.
It was soreness, right? Like, that's all it was
yeah, but if it's soreness, then why are you going to, if it's soreness, that's the exact reason you'd sit him, right?
It all depends. Like, I haven't heard anything. Like, he had.
I'm in on Rodney Stuckey, CJ Miles, all those guys. If like every one of those fringe Indiana guys, if Paul George is out, I'm in.
All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here for the day?
No.
All right. Well, that's going to do it here for the Monday edition of the Morning Grind podcast. Like we said at the beginning, congratulations to Cal. Congratulations to DB. If you guys haven't checked out our sponsor, rosters.com, check them out. Also, as always, if you guys want coaching, CJ does coaching for basketball, football, baseball, all the good stuff. Check him out. Make sure you guys are checking out his model and tournament tactics package over there at the Daily Marketplace. That's going to do it here for the Monday. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Good luck in your contest tonight, and we'll see you then.